hard to believe that a reputable company would go back on their word. Not even their word. We have a deal.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the airing of grievances. My name is Reamer. That's Robert Grieve, and this is part 2 of Wow. So stay tuned. But before you go anywhere, first click the thumbs up. Let everybody know that you dig the stuff that's coming out of this channel. That lets YouTube know it's worthy of sharing to other people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're going to want to do that too, especially after we tell you what happened in this episode. And I'm here to tell you this is part 2. We'll recap here what took place last week. But oh, Rob, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you, my dear friends. Thanks for tuning in, being here with us, spending the time. We appreciate you so very much.
All right. Quick recap. And again, if you haven't seen the last week's video, you can go ahead and pause this, go back and take a look at that one. Come catch up with us here. It might be worth your while. But a quick recap. We had an Audi that was here at our shop.
Yep.
It was deemed a total loss, but it took the insurer over a year to go through the process of not wanting to pay, delaying as much as they possibly could, sending out multiple adjusters.
Yep.
And then finally the guest had to invoke the appraisal clause.
Yep.
And that had to go to an umpire because they couldn't agree. The umpire decided that it was pretty dang exactly what...
It was exactly what we said.
We said it was in the beginning.
A year earlier.
And then at the very end of last week's video, we dropped the bombshell, if you will, and it was this. They want their money back.
They do.
What?
They do.
Oh,
They do.
buckle up, folks.
Look, they haven't wanted to pay since the very beginning. I mean, from the very beginning, they didn't write an accurate estimate. They wanted to stick to it. They forced the guest to go through the appraisal clause. This has been a nightmare for the guest, and it's not over. So,
But wait a minute, though. The resolution at the end of last week's video, the phone call that you had with a supervisor and heard from his supervisor.
Yes.
All
Done
and good.
Yeah, concluded. That was back in February. We're now 6 months later, and why don't we just get right into it?
You got an email.
We got an email. Here's my email. This is from the Wilbur Group. A new name in the equation.
Hello, Wilbur.
And the Wilbur Group says their client is Liberty Mutual Personal Insurance Company. And they say, Dear Auto Depot, that's our overarching name, DBA Nylund's Collision Center, we are now handling this recovery matter for our client regarding the advanced charges they paid to your company. These were the total loss fees.
Recovery.
Yeah, they're handling the recovery.
It's a collection agency.
It is a collection agency. So we are now handling this recovery matter for our client regarding the advanced charges they paid to your company. Our client, and that would be Liberty Mutual, paid your invoice under duress.
Now, that is a legal term, under duress. And it means that they protested either during or before the payment was made.
Right. Now, there are other insurance companies that try to write that in the memo section of a check.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave them out of this for right now. You can thank me later, Nick. They wrote under protest on a check. You don't want to cash that check because that verbiage means they have the ability to come back and challenge it.
Exactly right.
This check that we had that got paid didn't have any under protest on it. But let's go. Our client paid your invoice under duress to expedite resolution of the claim with their consumer. However, our client determined that the reasonable and customary charges that would be owed in your area would be $3,600.
Huh.
We are requesting payment from your company in amount of $11,390, which is the difference between what your company charged and what our client, Liberty Mutual, deemed was reasonable and customary. If you have any questions, you may contact us at the number below. Could you do me a favor? Can we play the last snippet of that phone call?
With pleasure.
Okay, sounds good. I'll go ahead and get it set up. Like I said, they should be there no later than tomorrow.
Everybody feels as though that I was being incredibly fair, yes?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you look at the merits of the claim and, obviously the duration and all that good stuff, it's definitely a mess. And, I think it definitely could have been handled better. And
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that, cut the bill in less than half. I just want agreement that you find that to be fair.
Yeah, we're good on our end. Like I said,
Okay.
it is what it is. So, unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do to change, our end on, what happened, and likewise.
Other than some learning.
Yeah. I don't know if what happened on this one could be taught or not. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'll get this one set up, and this one will be officially out of your guys' hair by tomorrow.
God bless you. Thank you so
All
much,
right,
sir.
thank you. Take
You
care.
got it. Bye-bye. Bye.
It's good with us.
Yes. I was fair, right?
Yes. It's all good with us.
And if you listen to last week's, you'll hear that the supervisor approved it.
Absolutely.
And so,
No duress.
did you hear any duress in that?
No duress.
They paid it. They picked up the car. We're done. Everything is done and concluded.
You would think.
Now, they want their money back.
Okay. I understand. I can process that they want their money back. I want a lot of things too.
Me too.
Okay? But there is a process. And first and foremost, they're using terminology in here under duress that did not exist in the negotiated settlement, which was, by the way, 50% of our claim
Yes.
for services
Of our bill. Yep.
rendered.
Yep.
So let's take that into account. But there are so many other things. First of all, I may know a thing or two about the collections process. I've actually had debt collection services as my clients in another company that I used to own.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And I know this, that a debt collector, a collections agency, is normally not even considered, not hired by the creditor or the debtor, the one who holds the note, until the person has been notified. First of all, did you borrow money from the insurance company?
I did not.
You didn't.
I did not.
Okay. So usually it's with somebody who borrows money and then
That owes money.
back. Do you owe the insurance company any money?
I do not.
Maybe for some other service that they've rendered in the past.
No, we have no contractual relationship with them. They have no contractual relationship with us. The only contract in play here, well, there's two of them. One is between me and our guest,
Yes.
and one is between them and their guest.
Yes.
We have no relationship.
No relationship. Normally, the creditor, the one who is owed money, would send a notice saying, hey, you owe us money. And before a debt collector would be brought into the conversation, 60, 90 days minimum of non-compliance, of you saying, it just either ignoring it or I'm not going to pay it. And the not paying it would be the trigger for the countdown of the 60 to 90 days.
Right.
And then after that period of time, should the creditor want to engage a collections agency, you would be notified. We're going to hire a collections agency. Were you notified?
Only by this.
6 months later,
Yeah. So Liberty Mutual has never reached out to us.
as far as you're concerned, the door's closed.
That's the way it was when I released the car and cashed the check. It was over. So how do you trust an insurance company like this in the future?
I think
Their money seems to be no good.
I think-
They'll pay you the money and then want it back. How does that work? Where else does that work?
in the universe, it doesn't work.
You went out, you had your steak dinner, you paid the bill. What are you going to send them a letter or hire an agency to send them a letter saying, yeah, we think we paid too much for it?
It's preposterous. There are a couple of things that I want to talk about, Rob, and there's something that jumped out at me that we have not talked about, but it jumped out at me about the language of this this letter. It says here, we are now handling this recovery matter for our client regarding the advanced charges paid to your company. Hey, Rob, what part of the charges that were paid to your company were advanced?
You know, that's some crazy word that they used.
It's the wrong word. This would be
They just paid the bill.
This would be thrown out. They paid the bill a year late. These are not advanced charges.
No,
Nobody advanced you any money.
no.
This would be thrown
They paid
out
a bill.
before it ever crossed the doorstep.
No, this is never going to turn into a legal matter.
Tell me why you're so confident of that.
There's no standing.
There's no standing.
There's no standing. I have no relationship with them. I have no contract with them. I have no duty to them. My duty is to the guest. Now, should there be a fluke that this actually was going to go to court,
Yeah,
we would enjoin our guest in that matter.
because you have a contract with your guest.
Because my contract is with the guest.
Yes,
We had an agreement,
Yep.
which they've gone back on,
apparently.
and it's now reopened.
So you would bring your guest, the one who's
Signed the contract,
Yep, yep,
and we performed all the services for.
yep. You would bring them to the court, and then
We didn't join them in the court case.
okay, so it would be you and your guest sitting on one side of the courtroom, and Liberty Mutual and their collection agency would be on the other side of the courtroom.
Right.
And a judge or a magistrate would be
Somewhere in the
doing
middle.
the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have a lawyer.
Yep.
Your guest, who is now enjoined on the case, they're going to need a lawyer.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because I believe that their legal liability part of their insurance policy would kick in to cover them, because I'm enjoining them in a suit.
So
And
let me see if I get this right. Their insurance policy would cover them meaning they would have to be represented
They would provide counsel for them.
by their insurance company against
Their insurance company. You know, that's why I can make fun of it, because nothing is going to come of this.
no.
But it is as concerning as can be. You know, a consumer could get caught up in this,
Absolutely.
and
This is a phishing scheme.
it really is. And this is a, you know, you have a policy, and they have to do certain things and fulfill certain obligations, and they're not supposed to drag you through the mud in order to effectuate the contract.
Yeah, they have to do it timely. They have to put you back to pre-loss condition. And in this particular case, pre-loss condition is out of the question because it was a total. But timely, they are not.
No. It's. I want you to know, consumers, that some of these companies are more trustworthy than others. And an insurance company that is going to pull games like this
Yeah.
that could drag you back into the thing and cause more pain and suffering,
Months afterwards.
and all the stuff that we have to go through. I've already called the attorney and gone over with it, so I'll be getting a bill in the mail, because these people already cost me money researching what to do, and this is the way they play the game today. And you cannot trust them.
No, this is a new strategy that we're seeing, and we heard about it a little while ago. It is not the first time we've actually seen this strategy.
Right.
But
Same company.
folks, heads up.
Yep. There's a lot of weird stuff going on today. Insurers are trying to recoup their money any way that they can. If they paid out money and they think that they might be able to recoup it down the road at some point from somebody, maybe you.
Neither of us are lawyers.
Nope.
But we both agree that in our opinions, this is the very definition of bad faith. And you really need to be careful with whom you deal, because I'm not aware of a lot of shops out there. There must be some others that would go to the level and extreme of protecting you as we do here at Nylund's. But I'm telling you, folks, the majority of the shops that are out there, especially shops that have a partnership with those insurers, a lot of this would never.
Well, they're never going to happen. This is
Right.
never going to happen today.
Right. But I'm telling you, folks, it's a really choppy waters out there, and you got to be careful.
So that's what we got for today. Surprise.
Wow. All right.
It's hard to believe that a reputable company would go back on their word. Not even their word. We have a deal.
Well,
We have a conclusion.
it's impossible to believe that a reputable company would go back on their word. And that leaves us with a different conclusion. That's not a reputable company.
Yep. So, there you have it, folks.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you. Everybody have an amazing week. See you next week.